The glory days of the early 2000s, when Vermont real estate was being snapped up like there was no tomorrow, and sellers could almost name their price and expect to get it, have not returned. But the gradual recovery in real estate values that began after the recession years of 2008, 2009 is continuing, and real estate agents are seeing positive signals emerging in the housing market. Statewide, the year is off to a good start, according to Vermont Realtors, a website that tracks the state's real estate market. Prices have risen a little more than 5% since last year, and the inventory of properties listed for sale is decreasing. Locally, there are also reasons for optimism, said Annie Bissett, the principal broker with TPW Real Estate.
We're looking at an active season. All the real estate agents are pretty busy, and we're hoping, to satisfy our sellers at the same time, keep the buyers happy. We've got a good selection of inventory, I think.
In Bennington County, the selling prices of single-family homes is nudging upwards. The average sale price for the first quarter of 2017 is up almost 16%, from about $234,000 last year at this time to more than $270,000 this year at this time. And the amount of time properties are taking to get sold is decreasing, down from 293 days at the end of March 2016 to about 210 now. In Manchester, single-family homes have shown a smaller increase in average selling price, rising a little over 2% from $384,000 to about $392,000. But the amount of time a property is up for sale has plummeted from 369 days at the end of the first quarter of 2016 to about 166 at the end of the first quarter this year. The market for higher-end homes, those costing $1 million or more, however, is taking a little longer to recover, said Carol O'Connor, the regional supervisory broker at Four Seasons Sotheby's International Realty. The post-9/11 boom years aren't returning anytime soon, she said.
But I don't think we're going to see that kind of a boom again. People aren't buying big houses anymore. People are, the green movement has become very big, the efficiency, and the millennials are all looking smaller. Some local, we're getting people moving to the area for the schools, as we've talked about, and they're coming from everywhere. New York, Connecticut, California, Florida, wherever they don't like their schools, they're coming because they've read and they've heard, and it's a quality of life. So they move to Vermont and they give it a try. Some stay, some don't.
Trends seem to be positive both in Manchester and Dorset for homes and condos, Annie Bissett said.
As far as the volume goes, we've seen a little over $5 million year-to-date in Manchester, whereas last year it was a little over $4.5 million. So numbers are up, quantity is up, and also overall volume is up. Commercial real estate in Bennington County right now has a little over $5 million worth of properties under contract. Last year total, there were just a little over $5 million worth of commercial properties that sold. Now this is all per MLS. There may have been other sales that weren't on MLS, but to look at those stats, is that suddenly going to shift the balance into seeing maybe some appreciation with respect to commercial properties?
A key ingredient in all of this are interest rates on mortgages and other forms of home lending. Right now, interest rates are still on the low end, historically speaking. There's a chance they could see a slight uptick later this year, but right now, rates are attractive for qualified would-be borrowers, said Shannon McLenithan, a mortgage officer with the Bank of Bennington.
Back in 2008, interest rates were north of 6%. So we're hovering around the 4.25–4% rate on a 30-year fixed, which is still fairly low. What most folks are saying is that there's a projection of an increase of about 0.5% over the next, for the remaining part of the year. So we'll see a couple more increases this year. So all the more reason to, if you're into the market, to buy, to get in now before the rates go up.
Both Annie Bissett and Carol O'Connor agreed that right now it's a buyer's market, despite the uptick in selling prices and the decline in the number of days properties are spending on the market. In short, the signs are trending in the right direction as long as the national economy remains on a steady, solid footing. And if you're thinking about jumping into the market, then keep your eye on those interest rates. It's all relative, of course. In October 1981, those rates stood at almost 18.5%. That makes today's rates of roughly 4.2% not sound quite as bad. For the GNet TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.